If you've ever followed the recipe perfectly and still pulled a dense brick out of the oven, or nailed one loaf and then couldn't repeat it for 3 weeks straight, there is a specific skill that is missing. When I was learning sourdough and when I've worked with other home bakers, I've seen them and myself move through 7 different levels of sourdough baking skills. And by the end of this video, you'll know which level you are at and the exact roadblock that is keeping you from progressing in your sourdough baking. I will walk you through all 7 levels in order, in each level explaining what you currently can do, what your bread looks like, where you may be having trouble, and what skills you need to work on to advance to the next level. Be sure to stick around through level 5 because that's probably where most of you are having trouble, and I will give you an extra resource for that stage. Level 1 of sourdough is when you are completely new to the entire process. You are either creating your starter from scratch or maintaining one that somebody gave you, or trying to figure out why your starter seems dead one day and alive the next. You are still learning that sourdough is not just a recipe, it actually starts with understanding the living culture. Your starter may bubble a lot at first and have a dramatic rise at the beginning, but then kind of fizzle out around day 3 or 4 and you're not totally sure what to do. During this level, it's common to smell a scent like nail polish remover coming from your starter or acetone, or even notice a separation of liquid from your starter, which is actually called hooch. What is actually happening during this stage is that the early starter growth is misleading. It's coming from early bacteria and actually giving you a false rise because your starter is actually still trying to balance itself. The biggest skill gap for you is you don't understand what ready looks like. You don't know what peak point means. Because of that, you are guessing when to feed and when to bake and if your starter is actually strong enough to leaven a loaf of bread. This is the phase where you're thinking through, my starter doubled yesterday, why won't it bake bread today? Or my starter smells weird, did I kill it? Or I followed the recipe perfectly, but it's still dense. What is going to move you to the next level is learning to recognize what peak point looks like. Peak point is when your starter has roughly doubled in size after you have fed it. It is bubbly all around the sides, and also when you look down into your starter you see bubbles, and it has domed on top. When the starter begins to flatten out, that means it is past its peak point. So what is peak point? That is the moment when the yeast and bacteria have finished all the food that you have given it. So when we have that living culture in our starter and then we feed them flour and water, they eat that flour and water and then they produce carbon dioxide. And because they produce that carbon dioxide, that is what makes your starter grow. So when it's growing and it has stopped growing, that is what actual peak point is. We want to use our starter when it's at peak point because that is when it is the strongest and has the most activity to leaven your loaf of bread. So a really great way to see if your starter is ready to use in your bread is doing the float test. While the float test is not 100% reliable, it is a really good indicator. If you get a cup of lukewarm water, take a little bit of your starter out and plop it into that cup of water. If it floats, that means that it is aerated enough to leaven your loaf of bread. If it sinks, that means it usually needs more time in order to grow more. However, if you went past peak point and your starter is falling back down, that may be another reason why it sinks. So if you are in level 1, your goal is to stop asking, is my starter alive? And start saying, this starter is ready to bake. When you have accomplished this goal, you will move on to level 2. Welcome to level 2, where your starter is finally reliable. It doubles predictably and you can maintain it without any panic. If you have made it to this level, you have usually baked one or more successful sourdough loaves, but you are most excited about the predictability of your sourdough starter and that you can completely rely on it and you know what you are doing. In this level, the bread that you are baking is a basic sourdough loaf, probably about 60 to 70% hydration, and you are following somebody else's recipe to a T. The loaf will probably rise, have some oven spring, look like sourdough, and taste good. But it is not consistently great. You are becoming comfortable with the process, but you don't have the technique down. Some signs that you might be at this level is that you've gotten one or two good loaves, but you're not sure of the feel of the dough when doing lift and folds or shaping. You keep asking yourself, did I do that right? What will move you to level 3 is practicing the technique and watching specific videos of that technique. You can check out my shaping technique video here, as well as my common mistakes video that will walk you through technique errors. Putting all of your effort into practicing specific techniques is what you need to do in order to move on to level 3. You've made it to level 3. At this point, you've made enough loaves that the whole process has started to feel familiar. You are no longer completely confused, and your technique has improved greatly. The bread you bake is good homemade sourdough bread with a more consistent shape, better rise, and a better crumb. You can do stretch and folds correctly and mix the dough correctly. You're shaping it reasonably well and following recipes successfully. The problem is that you are still baking by time. If the recipe says fold every 30 minutes, you fold every 30 minutes. If it says bulk ferment for 4 hours, you bulk ferment for 4 hours. At this level, you are following the recipe and not reading your dough. This is going to keep you stuck in your sourdough journey because your environment is constantly changing. You're going to have a different room temperature, a different flour, different starter strength, and a different humidity from one day to the next. But at this point in your journey, your process has been staying identical. You're probably in this level if you're thinking, why was my loaf perfect last week? Why did the recipe suddenly fail? Or do I really need to change anything? If you are having those thoughts, you're probably in level 3. What is going to move you to the next level is developing feel. You have to pay attention to your dough strength, its elasticity, its texture, its temperature, everything about the dough instead of about the clock. The goal for level 3 is to use the recipe as a guide and not as a rule book. If we can master that, you can move on to level 4. If you are learning sourdough and want big rise when you bake, I am launching a 6-week sourdough fast track to help home bakers bake more consistent and better loaves. It will include my complete in-depth sourdough video course, group coaching calls, and access to my sourdough sister community. This way you will have everything you need to bake sourdough loaves that you are proud of and have fun while doing it. If that sounds like something you would be interested in, there's a link in the description below so that you can learn more. Welcome to level 4. This is where sourdough starts becoming intuitive. You understand that dough is alive and that timing is always changing and that every loaf is slightly different. You are baking consistently good sourdough with better oven spring and a better crumb and getting more reliable results. You can now recognize what window pane development, proper gluten formation, underworked or overworked dough all look like. You really understand tacky versus sticky, dough strength, and shaping tension. So now your major sticking point in level 4 is bulk fermentation. You are still relying too much on the clock. This matters a lot because the bulk fermentation controls the rise, the crumb, the oven spring, and the dough strength. One dough might need 4 hours at 78 degrees, while another dough might need 6 hours at 68 degrees. The recipe simply cannot know your kitchen. A sign that you are in this level is that you are using the same recipe and it works amazing 1 week, and the next week you have a dense loaf. So what will move you to level 5? Well, you have to stop asking, how long has this dough been fermenting? And start asking, is this dough ready? You want to see about a 50 to 75% increase in size. When you jiggle the bowl, it should look like Jell-O. That means that the dough is aerated, so we want it to be puffing up in the middle, domed a little bit, pulling away from the sides. That is the carbon dioxide pushing up the dough. If we can rely on these signs to know if our bulk fermentation is done, the clock will become a checkpoint and not the finish line. And if that happens, then we can move on to level 5. Welcome to level 5. This is where many serious home bakers actually break through, because you truly understand fermentation. If you are at this level, you are baking sourdough with consistent oven spring and repeatable results. You can now judge bulk fermentation by its volume, its jiggle, its bubbles, and the dough behavior. Your successful loaves become repeatable, and you know why they worked. Your struggle if you are in level 5 is that if something does fail, you don't know why. If something happens like a dense gummy center, or a weak rise, or poor oven spring, or a uneven crumb, you know something went wrong, but you can't diagnose the cause. Signs that you are here would be most of your loaves being good, but the bad ones still confusing you, and you want to understand the why behind a poor result. The skill you need to learn is how to diagnose your crumb. You need to understand what under-fermentation looks like, what over-fermentation looks like, how shaping affects the crumb, and how baking affects the crust. If bulk fermentation is your struggle, I have put together a free bulk fermentation guide for this exact stage. It will walk you through the signs of perfect bulk fermentation, what each stage looks like, and how to tell if your dough is ready. I also have a free guide in the description on how to read your crumb. So if you can learn how to master bulk fermentation and how to read your crumb in order to diagnose what went wrong during your sourdough process, we can move on to level 6. You've made it to level 6. If you've made it to this level, you are no longer just baking bread, you are analyzing your sourdough. You can bake high hydration loaves, more advanced formulas, custom recipes, and different flour combinations. If you are in level 6, you have learned how to diagnose your crumb. Whether you learned from trial and error or you used my crumb guide below, you now know what under-fermented dough looks like and what over-fermented dough looks like in your final result. Under-fermented bread can look like small, tiny holes with big tunneling holes through it, a dense interior, and a gummy texture. Over-fermented bread can look like a flat loaf with a weak structure and really shaggy holes. It just kind of looks messy. If you have a dense bottom layer or a very uneven structure, that is probably a shaping issue. To get to the next level, we need recipe independence. This means that you can start designing your own dough. You understand hydration, flour differences, fermentation speed, and starter behavior. Your gap now is execution. You know what should happen, and you just need your hands to make it happen consistently. You need to repeatedly practice your scoring, your shaping technique, and even how you manage steam in your oven. If you can accomplish executing consistently, you move on to level 7. Congratulations, you have made it to the last level, level 7. If you are in this level, you have complete control and are no longer troubleshooting basic issues. You can bake bread any way you want. You can use different flours, different hydration levels, different styles, even different fermentation schedules. You can now design bread around an outcome. For example, you can think, I want a more sour flavor, or a lighter crumb, or a stronger structure, and you can make that because you know how to do it. When you can bake nearly any recipe at any hydration in any environment, congratulations, you have achieved sourdough mastery. Let me know which level you are at in the comments below, and if you want to level up your sourdough game, watch this video next.